We've all been there, stuck in a decision that's not working, but too afraid to let go. Maybe it's a job, a relationship, or a financial commitment. But what if I told you that the hardest part isn't the decision itself, but the way we make it? The real challenge is knowing when to let go of something that's no longer serving us. Today, we're going to unlock the secret to better decisions, starting with the toughest part, knowing when to let go. In this video, we'll dive into the real reasons we make bad decisions, how to stop repeating them, and most importantly, how to use the power of perspective to turn our choices around. Let's talk about how to break free from the sunk cost fallacy and why good decisions aren't just about courage, they're about clarity. Understanding the sunk cost fallacy. It's something we all do. We invest time, money, or energy into something, and when it's not working out, we still keep pushing forward. Why? Because we're afraid to admit failure. We fear that the time, money, or effort we've already spent will be wasted. This is known as the sunk cost fallacy. Imagine you're in a job that doesn't fulfill you. You spent years building your career in that field, but every day you feel more drained. Yet you hesitate to leave, thinking of all the time and effort you've put in. But staying isn't making you any happier. It's just sinking you further. The past is already gone. It's about the future now. What does this teach us about decision-making? It shows how easy it is to fall into the trap of sticking with a bad choice just because it feels like too much has already been invested. But this is where we need to shift our thinking. The power of perspective. The key to breaking free from bad decisions lies in how we view them. When we're in the middle of a tough choice, it's easy to get clouded by emotions, fear, or the weight of past investments. To overcome this, we need to start thinking about our decisions from different angles. Let's look at 5 critical perspectives to guide us. First, imagine what your enemy would advise you. They know your weaknesses and fears. By asking yourself, what would they say? You force yourself to confront your doubts and weaknesses. Will they tell you to stick with it? Or would they tell you to cut your losses and move on? This perspective forces you to think clearly and logically instead of emotionally. Next, we have the gut instinct. This one's tricky because many of us tend to ignore it, especially when it's been wrong before. But your gut is the result of all the knowledge and experience you've accumulated over the years. Invite your gut to the table, but don't just blindly follow it. Cross-examine it with your rational mind. What if we thought about this decision in the context of our mortality? Death isn't something we often want to think about, but it's one of the most powerful tools for clarity. Thinking about how you'll feel on your deathbed can often give you the courage to make the bold choice. It helps you see what's truly important. Caution is the voice that reminds us to be careful, to not rush headlong into something just because it feels like a new opportunity. It's the voice that warns us that failure is common, and that most new businesses fail, most relationships struggle, and most schemes fall apart. It's important to listen to this voice, but remember, it's about finding balance. Caution should not paralyze you. It should help you evaluate risk. Lastly, there's courage. Sometimes, the hardest part of decision-making isn't letting go of the past, but stepping into the unknown. Courage tells you that, yes, risks exist, but you can't live a fulfilling life if you only play it safe. Courage is about trusting yourself, even when the path forward seems unclear. When we combine these perspectives, enemy, gut, death, caution, and courage, we start to see a clearer picture of what's really at stake in our decisions. And that's where we can begin to break free from the sunk cost fallacy, letting go and moving forward. The secret to making better decisions is simple. Focus on the future, not the past. Ask yourself, if I were starting from scratch today, would I still make this choice? If the answer is no, then it's time to walk away. It's time to cut your losses. Take, for example, someone who's stuck in a toxic relationship. Maybe they've spent years trying to make it work, but deep down they know it's not right. Focusing on the future, on their potential happiness, can help them make the decision to move on. The time spent already doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that they have a chance at a better future. Next time you're faced with a bad situation, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, if I were starting fresh, would I still choose this? Let that question guide you toward making a decision that's healthier, more aligned with your goals, and ultimately more fulfilling. Creating rituals for better decision-making. Good decision-making isn't something we just learn overnight. It's a skill we have to actively develop. One way to do this is by creating rituals around your decision-making process. Make it a habit to step back, think through things from different perspectives, and give yourself the time and space to make thoughtful choices. The best decisions come from a place of self-awareness and clarity, not from fear of failure or attachment to past mistakes. When you take the time to see the full picture, when you stop allowing your past to dictate your future, you unlock the power to make choices that move you forward. Remember, the decisions you make today shape your tomorrow. Letting go of what's not serving you isn't admitting defeat. It's embracing a better future. So the next time you're stuck in a bad decision, ask yourself, if I were starting from scratch, what would I do? Take the power back. Make the decision that's right for you today. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more motivational content, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Let's make better decisions together.